Overcoming All, and also she's also an empowerment coach. Hi, Jucelyn, welcome back.
Hi, good afternoon, Lillian. Good afternoon to everyone out there.
Yeah, so for the audience who are new to this channel, we are doing a mini series on standing tall, overcoming all. This is a 15-part series, right, with my co-host Jucelyn Ong. Right, Justine, we have talked a lot about relationships, and
Hmm.
I think today you wanted to, mention a little bit about the hallmarks of healthy versus unhealthy relationship, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and I understand you have a whole list of the hallmarks in your book. Are you able to? I know, we're not going to list out all of them, but are you able to like just share with us a few examples? I mean, just a few of them. This hallmarks.
Yeah, right. Like you said in my book, there's actually 10 uh, hallmarks or
Mm,
rather traits of what a healthy versus a unhealthy relationship might look like. Yeah,
mm,
and I think some of the points we might have touched in our earlier talks. So we are already halfway mark in our talk. For those who have missed this series, don't fret, don't fear. You can always go take a look at the link and at the pre-recorded sessions to
yeah.
catch up on what you have missed. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just go to Voices of Courage YouTube channel and then you can catch up on all the past episodes.
That's right. Okay, at your own leisure or at night when you are winding down, or you need a time filler. And yeah, I hope you can tune in for some of the sharing that I did previously. Yeah. So Lillian, like I was saying,
Mm,
there's 10 hallmarks that's listed,
mhm,
but we won't be going into them
mhm,
because some of them, like trust, the importance of mutual trust versus disrespect, I think we did touch on
mm,
quite a fair bit when we we're talking about red flags in relationships.
mm,
Yes. Trust is very important. Good communication versus secrets and lies, for
mm,
example.
right.
Yeah, because I think communication is really essential.
Yeah.
It allows you to be vulnerable,
Mhm.
and without trust, you can't come into this next step. It's like a stepped tier kind of progression, right? Would you agree?
Right. Yes, yes,
Mm,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
a healthy relationship.
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
go
a
ahead.
healthy
Go ahead.
relationship. Yeah. So a healthy relationship would be one which is open, where you feel safe. Because it's only
Mm,
when you feel safe that you're able to be vulnerable or allow yourself to be vulnerable.
mm,
But having said that, it has to be a
mhm,
mutual agreement to be open. It's like tug of war, you can't play tug of war by yourself. You just
mm.
can't. You need another person at the other end of the rope to be pulling along with you for that game or for that event to even take place, right? I mean, I just thought of that analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always very impromptu. We can come up with
That's right. That's right.
analogy anytime.
It just pops into my head, and then yeah, I'll just share. So that just came, and so
Mm,
maybe today I will share about um, one of the hallmarks of being in a healthy, good relationship is that there is a lot of appreciation
mm.
versus resentment.
Appreciation versus resentment. Right.
That's right.
So can you
Because,
elaborate a little bit more on that?
sure. Because when
Mm,
you're in a relationship where you feel appreciated, I
mm,
think sometimes over time we tend to forget or take the other person for granted. Right.
yeah.
So
Mm,
after a while, you begin to start finding yourself or the other partner seemingly bringing out the weaknesses in you or criticizing you. And then
mm,
that creates resentment.
mm. Right. And sometimes it may be even out of fun and good intention to crack certain very sarcastic jokes. Yeah, but the sarcastic jokes, I mean, even though it was meant to like make it fun, but it can actually cause a detrimental impact on the person who is receiving it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. In fact,
Yeah.
that is something that I'm going to talk a little bit about, because what might start out as fun, like you say, might evolve over time into something that might not uh, be at that level, because it's a very thin line between, hurting somebody, whether with jokes or with comments that are hurtful, and then brush it off as, hey, why you take it so seriously? Why you so sensitive? I'm just joking one. You can't take jokes, is it? Or when it is used actually to put someone down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Knowingly or unknowingly.
that's
Right?
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I think if you are on the receiving end of a relationship where you are constantly feeling hurt by comments, you should voice it out. And I think if that relationship is a healthy relationship where the platform of trust and mutual understanding is very high, then you should not have any fear in being able to voice it out, or
Yeah.
being laughed at, or mocked at. Yeah,
Especially when you're
so
in a healthy, if it is a healthy relationship, you shouldn't have any of those hesitation in voicing out, right? Yeah.
that's
You you
right.
you you should be free to express how you feel, right? You're happy, you say you're happy. You're not happy, you are able to voice out as well. That is when
That's right.
you're in a healthy relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know you're in a healthy relationship. There should not be fear, right? As long as there's fear whether of being rejected, fear of whether being put down, then you might want to evaluate, where does that fear come from? Where is the root of that? Yeah,
Yep.
because I have heard of ladies, or even from my own experience, sometimes we find it very difficult to bring it up. Or we feel that when we bring it up, it doesn't help matters. In fact, it kind of cause unhappiness from the other party. And therefore, we clamp down, we shut down, and we start to accept all these hurtful remarks or all these jokes made at our expense. So it's no longer a couple that laughs together, it becomes a couple that laughs at each other and putting each other
Oh
down.
dear. Yeah, that's not very healthy.
That's right. I think laughing together is beautiful, right? Laughing together.
Right.
In fact, humor has a really high place in a good relationship. They always say couple who laugh together stays together. And I think there's some truth in that, because it shows you enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, and laughter is good medicine, right?
That's right.
Right.
Okay, so that is one where you're in a relationship where there's a lot of appreciation.
Mm.
Appreciation can be in terms of compliment as well,
Mm.
where you compliment each other. I'll talk a
Right.
little bit more about that when we talk about meeting the needs of each other, and how it
Okay.
ties in. Yeah.
Right.
Mm, that's right. So another point I like to share is the importance of encouragement.
Mm.
Encouragement versus a lot of criticism.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think if you're in a very affirming, encouraging relationship,
Mm.
even if you have weaknesses, it will
Mm.
be put forth to you from the point of helping you to improve.
Yes. A more
You know what I mean?
empowering way, right? Yeah.
That's right. So, for example, if I have a fear of,
Okay. We have a
I think there's a
question here, I
question,
think.
is it?
Yeah, let's just show the question.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just say, hi, Shalini. Let's just say, what if I still can't find the root of my fear? Like it has been there since young, and the person is not open to understanding how I feel personally. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, how would you let's take a look at this. If you need any more clarifying questions from Shalini, Jucelyn, yeah, just feel free to check in with
Yeah,
her.
I'm just reading
Mm,
her question. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's just say, what if I can't find the root of my fear? Okay. Very often, you are right, Shalini, to say that very often root of a lot of our fear or anxiety or whatever it is can be traced back to what happened when we are young.
Yes.
Yeah, just like in my book, I did share that until, for a very long time, I have this fear of being trapped in the lift, okay, or this fear of moth. And if I trace back, it's because of an incident that happened when I'm young. So yeah, because I don't have the background of what when you think back of, because you are saying it has been there since young. So when you say it has been there since young, are
Yeah,
you
what is
already,
the it, right? What is the
is
it
that
that you are
something
referring to?
that you're already referring to?
So maybe Shalini, you can help us by, typing in, like what is the it that you are referring to, right? Because you mentioned like it has been there since young.
Since young.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
referring to the fear that has been there since young and you do not know what is that fear, right? So we just need a little bit of clarifying questions. And I think one way that is helpful for you would be to ask yourself questions, right? Asking ourselves questions can draw out the answers from us also. Like, what is this fear? What is it that is what this is? Because fear is a signal, right? Signaling us, what to be careful about, what to be aware, or what is in danger, right? So if you are directing these specifically to a relationship, okay, because we're talking about relationship here, right? So we want to bring it into the context of the relationship. I hope you are referring to the fear that you're talking about is in the area of a relationship. Then what is that situation? Maybe, an event would be helpful, right? Okay, she has replied, right? Like the fear has already been there. And I've went through too many experiences during my childhood. So to trace the fear back makes it very confusing at times. All right. So overall, it is still generically fear. But I think like for me, what I would suggest is that to trace back to maybe one incident. I know there's a lot of incidents, and there's a lot of experiences, but to help to jumpstart that process in discovering and uncovering the root of it, you can work on one incident first. Start with one incident, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts, Jucelyn, to help
maybe
Shalini
let
here?
me give you an example besides what I shared earlier. When I was very young, maybe about 5, 6, without going into detail what that particular incident is, because it's a little bit, it affects someone else, right? So I'm not going to name names, but to me at that age, it affected me a lot. And when I shared that experience with somebody whom I feel should stand up for me and protect me, because at 5 you don't know how to solve that, I was told instead that don't bring it up again. I don't think that happened, or just brush me off, like don't talk rubbish. Don't bring it up again because it might cause friction in the family. So at that point, I felt very afraid, but yet I felt that a person who is in a position to protect me, as my, for example, parents or something, or a close family member, did not stand up for me. So now that I think back, for example, my fear of rejection, my fear of causing conflict might have in part be due to that incident, because I felt that, my needs are never important enough. I have to be hushed. I have to be kept quiet. Let's, not make a mountain out of a molehill. So this is an example of how, when I think back about what causes how I behave, even as I grow up, could be traced back to childhood incidents as well.
Yeah, I think this is Shalini brought up a very good point, because many of us actually, if we trace back a lot of our behaviors and belief systems, and even all the fears, that has embedded in us, it usually can trace back to childhood. Yeah, so you have to you work on one incident, one event at a time to
Mm.
uncover. Yeah, like you mentioned this specific example. I think I can resonate with that. I mean, my story. I mean, I have shared my story about when I was younger. I was being molested, right? Uh, I mean, it's like distant relatives or more. So the fear of causing conflict, like you mentioned just now. So when the adults are quarreling and shouting at each other and all that, as a 5-year-old girl, I was terrified. I was traumatized, right? Yeah. So from then, that experience has programmed me to learn that better keep quiet. I may be
Yeah.
the cause of the problem. I may be the cause
Correct.
of the quarrel. Yeah.
Yes.
So since young, I chose to shut down. I chose to not to voice out. I better don't voice my opinion. If I voice my opinion, I will cause, a quarrel, an argument, a conflict. Yeah. So and that is very, very unhealthy,
Mm.
And yeah. So a lot of fears, yes, you're right, can trace back from childhood, and we need time to work on that, right? Yeah. Right. Thank you, Shalini, for raising your questions. Yeah. So please
Right.
stay in touch with us, right? Yeah. If you want to further, work on how to uncover those fears, right?
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
Jucelyn.
So
Yeah.
yeah, to continue, right? So we were
Mm,
talking about compromise, and also the importance of being able to compromise in a
mm,
healthy relationship. Because let's face it, no matter how similar you are, even there will be areas that you both don't agree,
mm,
and that's where compromise come in a healthy relationship, because the happiness and the feelings of the other partner is paramount to you, is very important to you, and therefore it takes precedence over to just win. Whereas in an unhealthy relationship where there's an imbalance of power, you
mm,
will bulldoze your way through. You don't care. It's like no compromise. It's my way or your way. Because that when it boils down to the root, is because I don't really care what you feel or disrespect. What I feel or what I want is important. So that's
mm,
why there won't be compromise.
mm.
It's only in a healthy relationship where you will have compromise.
Yep. Yeah.
And which brings me to the next point, which is to
Mm.
validate. To validate
Validate.
someone, to validate someone means that I might not agree with you,
Mm,
but I take time to try to empathize and understand where you're coming from, and to
mm,
let you know that, hey, I don't agree with you on this. I put forth my point, but you know what? Um, whatever you just shared is still important to me. Thank you for sharing. Or, I still love you for
mm,
that. It's nothing against you, but okay, on this point, maybe we need to work something out. So
mm,
validation in a healthy relationship is very important, because nothing tears someone down faster than
mm,
criticism, negative words, or even jokes that are disguised in a fun way, but actually, the intention is not
mm.
right.
Right.
And yeah, it can be used as a form of control as well in very unhealthy relationships.
Mm,
It can come across as borderline emotional abuse
mm.
when you
Yeah.
keep putting somebody down, and that
Right.
causes, self-doubt. And when self-doubt goes up, remember, self-confidence will go down.
Mm.
This is like a weighing scale.
Mm. And I think being aware of that is very important, because if you're not aware, right, and then you're
Yeah.
just trapped in that relationship, and then you find that why am I feeling less and less confidence about myself? What's happening to my confidence? Yeah. So having this awareness is very important, and it's the very first step that you want to get yourself this knowledge, talk to someone, have conversations about what you're going through, because your emotions is a signal to tell you,
Yes.
whether something is right, or if you don't feel good about it, it's giving you a signal, right? So
Mm,
you
mm.
to explore and talk to someone that you can trust. Yeah. Mm.
Yes, just like a new analogy just popped into my head. Just like,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just like a fever
Mm.
gives you a signal that your body
Right.
is fighting some form of infection.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So
Mm.
fever might not be a bad thing in that
Mm.
sense. Because
Mm-hmm.
without that fever, you won't know that, hey, there's something going on, right? And
Yeah.
therefore that will bring you to the doctor. So
Mm.
these are signs and symptoms which please don't ignore it, because
Yep.
I know of women who end up years in a very unhealthy, toxic relationship, and they don't even know. After a
Mm.
while, they think that that's normal.
Yeah. That's worst case scenario, right? That
Yes,
you think
that's
that
right.
that's a
And
norm.
you know something about humans, right? We are very
Mm.
adaptable people in a
Mm.
sense. You know, it's like if you've gone to a place where the smell is not too good, when you first enter that place, right? You know what I mean, right? You go, oh, it smells really bad, and you pinch your nose, and after that, but you realize that if you stay in that place for maybe another 5 minutes or so, somehow it doesn't smell so pungent after all, because
Mm.
we get used to it, we get acclimatized to it,
Mm.
and then before you know it, yeah, you're like, why am I in this situation? Or you're
Mm.
in such a bad and unhealthy state by the
Mm.
time you realize that something is wrong. Yeah.
And
So
that brings me to another visual.
okay, what is
I
that?
have a visual.
Uh,
It's like the frog in the slow
yeah,
boiling with water. Yeah,
that's
pot
right.
of boiling water that not boiling, but slowly cooked it to
Warming up.
death.
Mm.
Yeah, the warm pot of water in the pot, right? The water in the pot. Yeah, so that's very dangerous, right? You won't know, and by the time you realize it, it's too late. Yeah.
Yeah, because the frog won't jump out when the water is just warm. It's quite nice, right? Have you all been to hot spa, sauna? Very nice, right? So the frog will probably be lepak, so relaxing, and
Lepak.
the water gets hotter and hotter. But because the frog has already slowly
Uh,
acclimatized to that pot of hot water, it's not going to jump up. But
yeah,
if you
and you
put
can
hot
slowly
water,
increase. You can
yes,
slowly increase
slowly
the
increase, slowly
temperature, right?
manipulate the heat. But if
Yeah.
you immediately jump into a pot of hot water, instinct will tell you, hey, it hurts, and the frog will jump out. So very much is, if you jump into a totally toxic relationship, chances are you will know something is wrong, right? But
Mm.
when the relationship progressively turn towards maybe a not so unhealthy slant, you may or may not realize where it's going. So that's why I've been, sharing a lot about the red flags and things like that, to get you to, maybe be aware, because sometimes when we're in the maze itself, you can't see the exit. I think I
Yeah.
mentioned that before. Mm,
Yeah. So I think it's very important to to be educated, be educated and bring to your own awareness what are all the red flags and all that. So yeah, so do grab a copy of Jucelyn's book, right? Standing Tall, Overcoming All. She really shared a lot. She's very generous in sharing all her learning from her experiences. So yeah, you go to jucelynong.com. You can grab a copy, pre-order a
that's
copy
right.
of her book, right? Because there's a lot of red flags. You want to be educated about it first, right? So that when you come across it, you know that, oh, this is the red flag that Justine was talking about, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right. So that brings us to another point of how we
Mm,
meet each other's needs, right, Lillian?
mm, yep.
Because we have talked earlier on about healthy, unhealthy. So one of the attributes or traits of a healthy relationship is one where there's a lot of compliments versus criticism.
Mm,
Everybody loves compliment. Let's face it. It feels good when someone tells you that, hey, that was a job well done, or
mm,
you look good today, or what you just said actually lifted me. I'm not talking about forced compliments. I mean, when you give a compliment, give it when you are sincere about it. It,
mm,
it brings more weight, and
mm,
people usually can tell.
yeah.
And nothing brings a relationship or a person down faster than criticism.
Mm,
So that
yep.
ties in with, there are actually, according to Gary Chapman, there are 5 love languages.
Yes.
Yeah, we try to meet each other's needs. And when
Mm,
needs are met, that's when the relationship can grow to a deeper level.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but your need might be different from mine, right, Lillian? Yeah, so basically, in
Yeah.
a nutshell, just a quick one, because we don't have that much time to expound in depth about all of them in our short talk. One of which is quality time. To
Mm.
some people, they value quality time or they feel loved when
Mm.
the other partner gives them quality time, meaning
Mm.
uninterrupted time or putting your phone away when you're talking to me. If I'm someone who values quality time, I really appreciate, even if you squeeze just 15 minutes to meet up with me or half an hour or send me a text and to spend time with me. It makes me feel important and loved.
Mm.
That's one.
Mm.
Gifts. Some of
Mm.
us are very giving people.
Mm.
So we give gifts, right?
Right.
Little thoughts and all that. But if your partner is so not so much into gifts,
Mm.
yeah, they'll still appreciate it, but maybe they feel even more appreciated or loved if you give, let's say, a quality time, if that's his or her love language,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So compliment. I was talking about that. That brings
Mm.
me to the third love language, which is words of affirmation.
Right. Mm.
Yeah, is that important to you, Lillian? What's your love language?
Quality time.
Yo, high
Yes.
five. We are
Right.
quite similar, you know. I realize you want to run in the sunflower. Oh, I can't see my sunflower field, but my banner has a whole sunflower field. And to me, quality time is also very important. Yeah.
Mm.
And the fourth one is physical touch.
Mm.
Physical touch, meaning like for some of us, a hug, um,
Mm.
holding hands, actually signifies to us or makes
Mm.
us feel loved.
Mm.
Yeah. So some of us can also have not just one love language. You can have like two or three, together, but usually there is one or two that is more predominant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what
Mm.
I mean? Yeah. So it's
And how you
important.
and how you give and how you receive may be different or the same. So it is
That's
very
right.
individual. Yeah. The
That's
last
right.
love language is
Acts of service. So
yes.
those of you who, you wake up early to prepare breakfast for your partner, you help him or her with the chores or run little errands. It could be your way of showing that person that, see, I love you. You are important to me. I care for you. So I show you through these acts of services.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
all good and well
Making
said.
breakfast. Yeah.
Hmm.
Preparing breakfast, right? And then you said, well, you want to eat so and so where and where, bak chor
Yeah,
mee,
and
you
then
will
while
go
you're
all the way.
sleeping, he drive out and surprise you with what you want. Yeah, for example. But I've heard of couples that come, and very frustrated because, to this guy, maybe his love language is gift. So
Mm.
for him, he feels love when he receives gifts and all. So he will think that the way to get to her heart or make her feel loved and appreciated is by buying her things. But maybe
Mm.
for her, now she's pretty much like us. We value quality time
Time,
a lot.
quality time. Yes.
Yeah. So even though he bombard us with gifts, but he's not able to spend time with us, or he just sends flowers, but it's the florist who delivers, because he'll say, I'm sorry, I'm away, I don't have time for you. And at the end of the day, my needs are still not met.
Yeah.
I still get resentful. And then on the
Yeah.
other hand, it's like, what's wrong with her? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Like I
have
already
spent,
buy so many things for you, right?
yeah, I
Why
spend,
don't you feel love?
that's why I spend time, I mean, I spend money, on you, and the flower that I bought for you is very expensive, or things like that, right? What else do you want? So I think it's important, in a healthy relationship, to find out early on what makes
Mm.
the other person tick, what makes the
Yeah.
other person feel
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 love.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that there's an alignment and no mismatch, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean this
intentions are all good.
yeah, this brings I mean like the example with my husband and myself was like, yeah, before we know each other's love language, right? Yeah, he's the one who will like buy this, buy that, And, and then I will like just put aside, put aside. Oh, thank you, put aside. And then he feels so like, hey, not appreciated. Like, next time I don't buy for you already.
So we just say thank you, lah, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like make a big hoo ha out of it because like gifts is not my love language. It's
Mm.
neither receiving nor giving. So I'm not a. That's why very cost saving.
Low
Yeah,
maintenance, right? We are
low
those
low
kind, right?
maintenance.
But having said that, we better put the disclaimer. But having
This
said that, it doesn't mean we don't like presents, okay?
I,
I still like to be surprised. Don't get me wrong. All my friends they don't bother buying birthday presents. No, I love surprises, okay? I still love gifts because to me, gifts are also important. I'm not saying that if that's not your love language, then, it's not important. It is important. In fact, I'm very appreciative when friends find out, for example, that I love precious moments, and then they would give it to me. I can buy it on my own, frankly, right? But it makes a difference to me because every time I look at that piece, it, I remember,
reminds you of that
yes,
person,
oh,
right?
it's that
Yeah,
person, who gave
yeah,
it to me. So this gift, see, that's the difference. For me, I don't look at a gift as a object.
yes,
What means a lot to me is the thought behind that gift and the
right.
person who give it to me. So every time I look at it, I remember that person or
Yeah,
whatever significance that gift has for me. And
yeah,
and therefore it's different when I buy it on
yeah.
my own.
I think we are really a lot of similarities.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
this talk show has made me realize that I didn't know as much uh, about you, and that we are pretty similar, right?
Right. Same but
Yeah.
different.
Same but different. That's right. Yeah. So
Right.
I hope whatever I shared today is of it's the little pointers will be useful for those who are listening in.
Yeah. And if you want to find out more about the five love languages, then you can actually go online, and
Mm,
actually do a quick quiz and, find out
yes.
which is your more predominant. And in fact, you can tell from, if you're more observant about your own behaviors, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So now that you know there are these five love languages, so yeah, be more aware which one are you more inclined to feeling appreciated and feeling love. Yeah, like I mentioned, there's the giving and there's the receiving. Yeah. So um be aware of this, and as well as for your partner, for the people that in your life that you care about. Yeah, your parents, your siblings, your friends that are very close to you. Yeah, I think it's important. Like this does help us to build stronger relationships. Yeah.
mm.
Right. And if you want to be stay connected, make sure that you have a community of support. Now tonight we are having our monthly empowerment meeting, Women of Courage Asia. Right. So it is a very loving and supportive community. We come together every month, last Tuesday of the month, right? In this monthly empowerment meeting via Zoom because of the COVID, we are meeting via Zoom. So do join us tonight. Click on the link below, womenofcourage.asia, right? And not forgetting Jucelyn. Yeah, I think Jucelyn website is up, so you can pre-order a copy of her book, right? Pre-order a copy of her book. And Justine, you are also supporting um
Safe
supporting
place.
a charity, right?
That's
Through your
right.
book, right? You want to share with us a little bit about this project, this fundraising project that you are part of the
E-
organizer? Mm.
Right. Yeah. So actually at my book, the first 35 copies, the proceeds and the sale, and really I appreciate all the support from those who have actually pre-ordered my book. And it is a great source of encouragement to me. So if you like to support what I'm doing, yes, please purchase my book. Safe Place is actually a beneficiary that I adopted, and I also went to a boot camp with Class Living, organized a Class Living, and part of our this project is to adopt like a organization where we want to put our efforts and talents together and to do something together for the participants of those who have gone for this boot camp. And I think it's really, really meaningful. So we have decided that we will adopt Safe Place. And we've
Mm.
partnered, we've just started this. So it's really exciting because yesterday I went down, we partnered with Swapaholic, So if you are into saving the world and for a good cause and all, you can buy the swap packages. So how it works would be you buy a package and then you can swap your pre-loved clothes. So they can be maternity wear or non-maternity. Why we thought of maternity? Because our beneficiary Safe Place supports women who are going through the pregnancy process and they may or may not have the support of families or friends. So we are raising fund. Half of the packages that are purchased will go directly to the Safe Place, as
Wow.
well as so we were very excited to have various partners and sponsors, and really thank you all the sponsors who have come on board. Because when you buy the swap package, you will also be entitled to lucky draw and goodie bag, e-goodie bag because of COVID.
Right.
So yes, please support this good cause.
Yeah. The link is below to find
That's
out more
right.
about Swap for Courage. You know, you can click on the link classliving.com.sg/swap for courage. Right. So Class Living is also very proud to be one of the sponsors for the lucky
Sponsors.
draw prize.
That's right.
Right.
So it's a
So
collect. It's like a collective effort,
yes.
and I think it's very meaningful.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very meaningful.
So do support us in this initiative to raise funds for the Safe Place, right? And through the purchase of Jucelyn's book, Standing Tall, Overcoming All. And we look forward to see you tonight at womenofcourage.asia, our monthly empowerment meeting. Okay, so click on the link provided as well to register. Okay, so we'll see you again next week.
Same
At
time, same
tonight.
channel.
Yes.